I know where we can go. I know where we can go. And it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. Come get lost with me. 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 Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. I know where we can go, where the sunrise lasts forever, and it's all you and me. We'll kiss the sky goodnight. We'll kiss the sky goodnight.
Hey, bitches. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? How are we doing on this late night? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you all, my little teacups. I love each and every one of you, and a special shout out to Nurse Sandy for becoming a teacup. Hello, how you doing? Thank you, Nurse Sandy. Hope you're doing good, honey. Keeping you in our prayers for sure. Boy, look at my weave. Oh, damn. Okay. So, I just wanted to come on my little channel. That way it's not like too crazy or anything. And I was listening to an interview because I think it's so important. Chris and Katie's first interview with Duchess. And I saw Bullhorn Betty. She was talking about the second interview. Um, something about a sound or something like Chris, but that's besides the point. Hello, Maurice. How you doing? How you doing? And well, Angela, just let people do what they do. Just let people do what they do. You know, we get so caught up in what other people's doing, and I don't see a problem with anybody searching. I'm really grateful personally, but everyone has their thing. You remember also it was Seth's weekend, but the Proudfoots changed it. I wonder why. I now to be fair, I'm not sure if the Proudfoots changed it. It might have been Seth who changed it, right? It might have been Seth who changed it. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but I found a little something, something, and I wanted to go over it. I don't remember the timestamp. We'll go over it. So, credit goes to the beautiful Duchess, and we got to remember, Duchess got this interview before the news, right? Before the news. Now uh, and I think that's really important, even before the holding the hands interview and all of that. Seth works 12-hour shifts. Yeah. He works 6 to 6. He was working 6 to 6 that night. Uh Seth is not on my radar. He's really it's notice Chris is using Katie's login. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean, girl. Um Let me put her banner up here. Duchess discussion. All right. And we will go over this a little bit. I don't know what you mean by the login, though. Look at the letter. It's in a K. I still don't know what you mean. Hey there, Mamacita. Oh, I love how you called her Mamacita. So was Sebastion kidnapped? There's no evidence of that. Anything is possible, but I don't think it's probable. Personally, my hello, Grace. Hey, Mercy. Mercy said no. I'm not gonna let you
A
go.
little later in the evening,
Sin
I'm a
will never take control. You know that song? I don't think he's in Alaska either. K for Katie. I still don't know what y'all mean. Y'all gotta really spell it out for me, y'all. I'm really blonde. You know that song? Yes. Every time I hear the name Mercy, I think of that song. The login in the pic on the chat with Duchess, it's K for Katie. Oh, oh, I see. KK for KK. All right. Duchess asked about his medication, and immediately Seth Chris jumps in and says he does take medication of the night and of the day, but not going to tell you what kind because that's a HIPAA violation. Okay.
Self went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
He wasn't here. What if they used I was thinking that, Poppy. Yes. What if they used walkie-talkies not to be detected like on phones? I thought about that myself. Breaker, breaker. Or it's a CB, isn't it? Trend 4. Walkie-talkies can. They have them over they have them over 15 miles. I wondered about that. I thought about that. Nothing would surprise me. I do believe that I don't know. Something's not right. Really? It's possible. Ours is up to 7 miles. Well, we're going to get to that whenever she talks about the medicine. Katie is talking and then Chris jumps in. Right? I don't know if I don't see how Katie either took her phone or she had to take another phone, because I don't understand the non-emergency call. You couldn't have been on the line with him. You could not have been on the line with him. You just couldn't have. It doesn't make sense. Let's see here. It's a beautiful morning now.
And you did tell me that Sebastion is not a runner.
He's not.
It's okay. Take your time.
Sebastion does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very.
That's a negative. That's a negative because not everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He doesn't go outside very much, but everyone in the neighborhood knows him. How do you know everyone in the neighborhood knows him? The thud happened and she answered Sebastion, said nothing, suggesting Sebastion made the noise. He didn't say, I don't know, Mom.
Very to himself, so to speak.
Let's figure this out. Come on, let's do it.
Between the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the.
No one basically vanishes. Let's be clear about that. This is the most important interview that there is, technically, because it's the first interview. You don't basically vanish. You either vanish or you don't. When someone is putting basically in there, they are leaving out a lot. Anybody will tell you that. Anybody will tell you that. There's no basically. You either vanish or you don't. Justin, I would love for us to watch Terry Lynn's interview again. She did a great job. Okay, we'll do that.
The house door was locked and gone. 12 and 6. He has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, door was locked and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town
Exactly.
at work,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastion went to bed at 9 p.m.
Okay, I just noticed something. Here she said, let's go back.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastion went to bed at 9 p.m.
So she fell asleep. She fell asleep here at 10 p.m. She fell asleep here at 10 p.m. She fell asleep at 10 p.m. Then that means her and Chris could not be speaking together. They could not be speaking on the phone if she fell asleep at 10 o'clock when they got on the phone at 9:46. That's what Katie told Dutch. That's a problemos. Problemo. Big problemo.
And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way
Okay.
there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom.
Okay. First of all, making something crystal clear and saying that there's transparency across the board, that would be assuming he is lying. That shows deception. Anytime someone says transparency across the board, no. No. Like his official statement. You cannot give an official statement, Chris. Sorry. Red flag. You're a grand old flag. You're a high flying flag and forever. I can't say when he says crystal clear. Transparency across the board. We expect you to be transparent, right? When you're talking about your kid, we don't need you to say that. You are expected to tell the truth when it comes to your child every single time. To make it crystal clear and transparent across the board. Thank you for being 191, Roxy. Your lucky number tonight is 191. Or, as, I don't know, like the psychic community says, that's your angel number this evening. I'm just kidding.
We're on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening.
Okay. Chris just says it right here. 9:43 or 9:46. That's very specific, number one. That's great. We like specific. I appreciate that. Number two, if you start talking at 9:43 or 9:46, 10 o'clock, Katie told Dutch that she's asleep. 2:05. That's your lucky number, Mickey. YouTube. So you're saying Katie's snoring after, 14 minutes of speaking with you, Chris? Is that what you're saying? Because if she was speaking to you 14 minutes after you got on the phone with her, it must have been a one-sided conversation. Must have been a one-sided conversation, Mother Chicken. Nashville, thank you, doll. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, my loves. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, where am I? I think that's the right one. Yeah, something is very, very wrong here. It'd be asleep after 14 seconds. I mean, it's Chris after all.
We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments.
Didn't ask. It's volunteering information that has not been asked. He's wanting, in my opinion, to get ahead of it. Remember, this is the first interview. Things aren't that crazy yet. This was only 7 days in, Sebastion being missing. Right? It's been verified across the board. No bueno. When someone says that, I instantly do not believe them. Instantly. I don't believe you after you say that. Nope. I'm not going to believe you after he says that. He's trying to convince us. Call logs is police lingo. Talkie like you know me, Mohawk. Talkie like you know me.
It's TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch.
Okay, so that would have been at 10 o'clock, 14 minutes, like we just said. Okay, go ahead, continue.
I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed.
Also,
now, mind you,
Chris and Katie would say this in later interviews. Whenever Chris is away, the dogs will play. Meaning, when Chris is away, the dogs sleep with Katie. Chris doesn't like the dogs in the bed with him, right? So why did she put the dogs up in their crate that night? Why did it happen that night? Why put the dogs up? Yes. Why didn't you get little Fifi and Fluffy? Why didn't you take them to the bed? KK. Why not? Very interesting, isn't it?
that was
I mean, I would think when Chris is away, it's like a sigh of relief for everyone. The dogs are like, oh, we can play again. You know.
is right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
Okay.
So then Mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning to go wake her son up, get him ready for school.
Why are you saying this, Chris? Why are you saying this whenever you are laying your little pillow and your head down on your little pillow, 3.5 hours away. You have no idea what is going on after you get off the phone. Another question is, did you hear the thud? Did you hear the thud? Did you hear the thud? Mom goes to sleep, and it's very interesting the way he's stating it. Mom goes to sleep, because these are short pointers. Mom does this, mom does this, mom does this. Get it in your head. Mom does this, mom goes to sleep, mom wakes up. Mom puts the dogs away, mom goes to sleep, mom wakes up, can't find her son. And now we have a son that we can't find. It's easy to make those points rather than to talk them out, right? Because you know exactly the points you need to make. The mom, your wife, your stepchild.
And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time.
It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre that this man is speaking for his wife. And I know people's like, oh, well, he's just being a gentleman. When, first of all, when was Chris ever a gentleman? Okay. When was he ever a gentleman? And second of all, yes, speaking in third person. And why is he speaking for her? You weren't there. Let the person who lived it do the speaking. It's also distancing. Yes, Marlena. Very much just distancing. Not using names. It becomes impersonal. It's not as personal. Mom, son. Mom, son. Rather than Katie, Sebastion. Katie, Sebastion.
Time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone.
I can't find him. I can't find him. And just remember, Katie says the exact same thing in her interviews. I can't find him. And I can't find him. And I can't find him. Word for word. I can't find him. I can't find him. Word for word.
Call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do.
That's what we're supposed to do. He's trying to make it sound like they have checked all of the boxes, nothing to see here. We just can't find him. This is going to be studied for centuries from now, right? That's what we're supposed to do. He's getting ahead of it. Getting ahead. Yes, you call 911 in all emergencies. I mean, literally most 4-year-olds know that. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you. Appreciate that. Thank you, dear. Really do appreciate it. Let's see here. There we go. Okay.
And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
Negative. It couldn't have been 10 minutes. It absolutely could not have been 10 minutes. Hey, Ben, should have said, get off the phone with me and call 911. That's exactly right, Ben, because listen, whenever someone, all right, you call, listen, I will not even fault her for calling her husband first. She should have, if she called anyone, she should have called Seth first, because if anyone was going to pick Seth or Sebastion up, possibly it might have been Seth. That's the bio father. But what happens? Hold on, let me turn this down. But what happens? She calls her husband that's 3.5 hours away, pretending this is a phone, and you're calling the non-emergency number. There's not a bigger emergency than when your child is missing. Let's just get real. Yes, non-emergency dispatch. Hi, my wife called me 3.5 hours. I'm 3.5 hours away from her. She said my stepson is missing. Okay, so you need to speak with her, right? Okay, right. They're not going to want to talk to him. They're not going to give a wooden nickel about a word he says. Nothing. They need to speak with the person that is in the frickin' house. That is what they need to do. You speak with the person that is in the house, that lived through this, that went through the motions of waking up, walking to her son's bedroom, opening the door and realizing he wasn't there. They don't care about you, Chris, at that point. They don't care. And it's very bizarre to me. I would give anything to hear that non-emergency number. I would give anything to hear that non-emergency number, because I bet me, Katie is not on that call. If she is on that call, it's not for very long. I can assure you that, in my opinion. Because she says, and I say this every single time, and I'm going to say it until I'm blue in the face. Why did she say, he told me to hurry up and get back to the house because the police is on their way? If you know the police are on their way and you're on the phone, hands-free or not, you don't need to be told that, because you are speaking to the police. Yes, ma'am, we're on our way. Yes, ma'am, we're on our way. We've dispatched someone. We're on our way. That's what they're going to say. We got officers on the way, ma'am. Stay calm. But Katie doesn't say that. She's saying he's already. What do you mean, Katie? You're not telling us something. You're not telling us something. Is it possible when CP told KP to go back home, they are on their way, he was talking about his family and not law enforcement? Is it possible when Chris told Katie to go back home, they are on their way, he was talking about his family and not law enforcement? You mean telling his family to get to the house? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean, Philip? Like telling his family to get to the house? Who was the fourth person at KP's house when law enforcement got there? I have no idea. Guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. Would greatly appreciate it.
And you had told me that there hadn't been any particular situation that had occurred where you felt like there would have been something that happened. And I also had asked you if there were any
Absolutely,
friends
Missy.
that
Absolutely.
Sebastion might have possibly left the house with, or if he had any contact with anyone on social media. Do you want to comment about that again?
He doesn't have a social media.
Okay.
And
Yes.
the only friends that he had is
Yes. He's missing. He's missing. You mean the dog? The dog's missing? You mean the cats that you threw out are missing? I mean, do you mean your shoes missing? Do you mean Sebastian's missing? Chris says, yep, can't find him. Yep, he's missing.
were a couple of kids in school.
Okay.
All the kids that have had any interaction with him have been interviewed and asked.
Yep. Do you need police, fire, ambulance? 911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance? So they can
Okay.
send.
We as parents know how social media can be,
Right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated.
He's very young in mind.
Yes, he may be.
Right.
He's about 15.
He's very young in mind.
And he's 15 in age in his body, but his mind is not caught up
I think it was just an absolute control
to his body.
factor.
But that is something that goes through with autistic children, as everybody would know.
Right.
Not everybody
But-
knows that.
For the record, I am a very strict parent. He does not have social media, not in our household. He doesn't
I am
online game. I'm pretty strict when it comes to that kind of situation.
Well, that's good. That's good, Chris, that you have control of that, because social media can be very dangerous for young kids because they don't realize who they may be talking to on social media. So it's always good to have that awareness and to make sure you're monitoring, what your kids are doing. So I had asked you both, did you have any idea?
I was like, when most people who are like raised Southern, maybe across the board, I don't know, but they never speak ill about someone who is sick, who is missing, who is deceased. And for a parent to disparage their missing child, have to be reminded to say something positive is alarming. I'm very strict. I'm this. I'm
Yeah.
that. I
What
grunt.
would make Sebastion want to suddenly leave the house? And you told me, well, that's the $1 million question that
It's the $1 million question, because Sebastion, in my opinion, would not leave that house, especially a kid without his phone, without his shoes, without his coat, without a reason. There's no reason, according to Katie, that he should be missing. Had a great day, had a great weekend. They say he was actually very calm all weekend. He wasn't acting up.
everybody wants to know. All the detectives, they've all asked that same question. What is it that happened that caused him to leave the house? And I know you must be so worried and so concerned. Is there anything, if Sebastion were listening to this live stream right now, if you knew that he was out there, what would you want to tell him?
That's right, Shirley.
That we love you and to come home.
It's fake as shit. I'm sorry. That sounds fake.
I mean-
that sounds fake. I'm sorry. It sounds fake. It sounds forced. It sounds forced. We love you and to come home.
I mean, it's pretty simple. This boy has a very large family that everybody is asking the question, where are you? We love you, and please come home.
Yes.
How would he know that if he how would he know what you are saying to him? He doesn't have any means. He doesn't have a phone. He doesn't even have his shoes. How would he know? Didn't take his phone.
We definitely need to find him as soon as possible. If you live in this area, please search your property every day. He could be on the move. Just because you've already searched your property one time doesn't mean that you don't need to continue to search your property on a daily basis just to be sure. If you have a lot of land, it needs to be searched, just to be sure, because he may be lost. He may be somewhere and he can't find his way back. So that's why it's very critical. Can you talk to me about the search and rescue efforts? Are they searching on land, air? They also have dive teams there. What can you tell us about that?
So currently, as of today, the National Guard was also brought in to help with the search. But they have had fixed wing aircraft, helicopters, horseback ATVs, side by side, door to door, scouring every neighborhood possible. The outreach from the community.
Yes.
And
Yes. That would be great, Maurice. I mean, Chris should absolutely, if he doesn't like people talking about that weekend or whatever, show us some receipts. Where were you Friday evening, Saturday, and Sunday? Where were you?
various counties has been extremely welcoming, loved. I mean, it's we've been told this is probably one of the largest searches that they've conducted with so much input that it's
I wonder about that, Linda. That is something that, if that is true, if Sebastion was at this poker game and was on this computer, what happened? Did he find something? Did he see something? Brings up a lot of questions.
it's a case to be studied for sure.
Yeah.
It's 7 days in. It's 7 days in, and it's a case to be studied for sure. 7 days in. 7 days in. It's a case to be studied for sure. You have parents, their child has been missing 20 and 25 and 30 years, and they still have hope. Still have hope. And you have this mother chicken saying it's a case to be studied. Oh, we gonna study it, all right. What the hell?
Have a lot of people that are praying and supporting you right now. Was his ask, would he be able to ride a city bus?
Nothing is off the table as far as abilities. Could the young man get on a bus? I'm sure he could.
We've never done it before.
We've never rode a city bus, so I don't think he understands the process. He doesn't have any.
Little Red, we got a new teacup, y'all. Please welcome our beloved Little Red. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you so very much. Get your teacups out, everyone. Cheers to Little Red. Thank you so very much, my friend. Really do appreciate your support. Means a lot. Thank you.
Sense of money. He may have, like, let's say, a $20 bill in his hand, but he doesn't truly understand what $20 would get him.
He's good
Right.
at math, but he doesn't
I understand.
time and money.
And Single Mom says, does he want his real father? Maybe. I'm just asking. Well, it turns out, Single Mom, that, he sees his real father every other weekend. And the real father, he is heavily involved in this situation and is aware. And he doesn't know where Sebastion is either, correct?
Correct. I mean, I can tell you this.
His father's very much involved in his life.
Yes, very much involved in his life. The relationship between all three of us as parents is not your
Listen, if they took this person's laptop, they don't take laptops out of an abundance of caution. Especially another home's laptop. Right? There has to be a reason why they took that laptop, allegedly. I don't know if they took it. I'm not saying they took it, but Terry Lynn is saying that they took this. Did she say they took the laptop? I don't want to say something I don't know if she said that, so I don't want to say that. Scratch that. But he was on the laptop. I do know that. She did say that. He was on the laptop. But if they took a laptop, that's
a common one. I mean, me and the father talk on a regular basis. We call each other. We talk. Hey, if we heard anything, how's he doing? Is he acting up? I mean, it's not.
Hey, how's he doing? Is he acting up? First thing they said, hey, how's he doing? ? Is he acting up? It's like the way I feel Chris and Katie felt is there he goes again, acting up again, doing this again. There you go again, Sebastion, kind of thing. Is he acting up? Hey, how's Sebastion? Did he have a good day at school? Right? Is he feeling okay? Right? Did his project go good at school? Did he get good grades today? No. Is he acting up? Unfucking believable. And it goes on and on and on and on. Everything they say. On and on and on. Is he acting up? Is he behaving? It's like they did. In case you don't know, kids are human beings and they have bad days and good days, just like you and I. Their reasons are maybe a lot less, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, my head went blank. Consequential. Consequence. You know what I'm saying. Sorry, I can't say it right now. God damn. I can't say it. It's there. Consequential. Can't even say it. Consequential. There we go. Sorry. It's the limes. It's the limes. I can't get it out sometimes. I can't get it out. It's like, it just doesn't. I see it. I know how to say it, but I can't get it. Consequential. But it's still very valid because they are human beings.
There's no really animosity in between the parents.
That's
Okay. Nobody asked if there's animosity. Nobody asked that. Right? Is he acting up? We have this beautiful thing. There's no animosity. None at all, says Chris. Okay. Nobody asked.
That's good.
Nobody
That's good.
asked.
Discovering the truth. Thank you for being here. They say, did he have any special interest like trains, parks, friends, maybe a school bus route that he loved? My son elopes and loves trains, so he heads to the tracks.
He loves playgrounds.
Yeah, he loves playgrounds. I mean, he loves to play. I'll give him that. Friends wise,
He wants friends.
Sebastion, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has 2 kids that
He loves playgrounds. He loves playgrounds.
talks to at school, but
Uh-huh.
he is extremely socially awkward. And so it's very difficult for him to make friends, which has been
Phenomenon.
this boy's only
that
lifelong dream.
Phenomenon.
He Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I want friends. Birthday, I want friends. Anything that he could do to get a friend, he would love to do it, which
Thank you, Bella.
is potentially dangerous because that could open up doors if for somebody to say, hey, I'll be your friend, and potentially cause harm.
That's a good point, Bran. I can only imagine Chris's rage when he realized Sebastion was on that laptop. Scary as hello. Mm-mm-mm.
Kim Holmes asked if there's any cameras in the area, and I did see, Kim, that they were asking for people that had any Ring doorbell footage or any businesses that had camera footage. Talk to us about that, Chris. We did speak about that briefly earlier about the people getting all the footage, but they haven't found anything.
Our entire neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods have voluntarily and with generosity given up any video footage that they've got. And I mean, they have let the apartments come in and view and monitor. So as far as cameras, everybody has turned over everything.
But they do not acknowledge. Chris and Katie will say, yeah, Sebastion took a flashlight, and yet we see some flashlights in a car outside. I would be like, oh my God, there is a flashlight in a car outside. That is huge. I wonder if Sebastion got in that car. Not them. They're like, nope, nope, nope. That is nothing to see here. Nope. Sorry. Not going to have it. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing. Absolutely, Janine. Absolutely. but they're like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you where that was because, it doesn't really matter anyway. Right? Right, Katie? Right?
Thousands of hours of stuff that they are combing through to try to find an answer.
It looks like Tish is local to the area. She said, I go to the grocery store or anywhere and our eyes are peeled looking for him. I work at a local restaurant and I'm checking cars as they come through the drive-thru every day. Bless you, Tish. I know this family is very grateful.
Where are you going?
Discovering the Truth says, so he probably knows the route to his father's house, so maybe he was in the process of heading in that direction.
That has not been ruled out. Like I said, the search that they are conducting is extremely widespread and thorough.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody is ruling that out as a possibility.
But normally when he wants to go to his dad's, he just says so. And we just call his dad.
Yeah, it's dad will come down here. We meet him halfway.
I wonder when, Chris says here, that has not been ruled out. And then Katie says, but if he wants to see his dad, he just normally says so. And then Chris says, well, let's just say that if he's ever wanted to see his dad, there's never been a time where he couldn't. In the other interview, whenever Katie is talking, or when Chris is talking about Seth going to his house, Katie's like elbowing him. I want to know why law enforcement has not made an arrest in this case. In my opinion, law enforcement's lack of arresting folks may make believe they're covering up. I don't know, Misty. I don't know.
There's this. He's never wanted to go to his dad's and not been able to go. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Barq,
thank you for being a member for 6 months. All of this is very, very helpful to help us, better understand the situation that we're dealing with. And I did see a post on Facebook that it looked like everybody was asked to wear green on Friday because green is Sebastian's favorite color. What else can you tell us about Sebastion?
He's an avid Minecraft fan. Loves the color green. It's got the
much to search,
goofiest
though.
and quirky smile in the world. I don't think anybody could. Goofiest and quirky smile in the world.
Shame on you.
I don't think anybody could mimic it, to be honest with you.
He looks like he's such a sweet young man.
You can tell mothers versus Chris, because Duchess says he looks like he's a sweet boy, right? And Katie is like, he is, and Chris is like, he's got the goofiest, quirkiest smile in the world, and I don't think anybody could mimic it. And that's why I always call Sebastion the boy with the radiant smile.
Loves to dance. That boy he'll dance his tail off.
There's nothing wrong with that. Dancing is good for you. It's good exercise too. I just really hope they can find some answers. Now, I did ask you guys because, I know that sometimes when we're looking for autistic children that go missing, a lot of times people are concerned that they may be attracted to go towards the water. So talk to us about that. Is he a good swimmer? Does he like to get in the water? I think you did mention some things about that to me earlier.
So he's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that but here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful.
So, I mean, make it make sense. He's not a boy that likes to get dirty. He is fearful of bugs, but yet you are saying he walked out of the house. Why would he walk out of the house? There is nothing that says he did. Nothing. There is nothing that says this kid walked out of the house by himself. There's not a scent. There's not a camera. There is nothing. Absolutely nothing. There is only evidence of a disappearance. How he disappeared, I don't know. But I don't believe he disappeared this good by himself. I really do not think he disappeared by himself at all. Holy Mother Teacups. Ben George, thank you so very much, my friend, for gifting 10 teacups. If you received one of those teacups, give our Ben George a big thank you and tell him it's tea time. Thank you so very much, George. There is nothing that says this child walked out by himself. There's not. And let me tell you something. Anytime the cameras pick up something, they pick it up. Some of them record constantly. There is nothing. So I would be asking the parents, if I was TBI, explain. Time's ticking. But then there is, they don't have to. They don't have to, because they said he walked away. They said he walked away. Hold on, what is it? Wins. Is this a new home? What did Win say? What did Win say? Bear with me one moment. Wins. Could y'all let me know what Win said about the home?
Of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not a I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound.
Discovering the truth, I'm sure that they are probably looking into that. Now, I know that you said there was some misinformation that was going around and you wanted to make a clarification. You did tell me that TBI, was assisting, but that there was some confusion. People thought that FBI was actually assisting in this case. Talk to me about what you spoke about earlier to me on our phone call about how FBI is, that they were consulted, and the card team, I guess there is a discussion going on as to whether he qualifies, as, for the child abduction response team.
So the FBI is not physically on the ground.
Reasonable deduction, right? This is a child that doesn't like loud sounds, right? He won't go out a door because it is loud. He is fearful, parents' words, of bugs. He doesn't like to get dirty, right? He would not swim in, like a creek or anything like that. It's got to be a pool, right? These are all X's that this kid doesn't or would not walk out, right? If it was he's ran off before, right? Has a history of running off. This is something not new for him. Kid goes barefoot everywhere. He doesn't like to have shoes on. He loves to play outside, loves animals, doesn't mind bugs, all of this. Then it would be more in favor of him that this is his personality. This is his profile. This is who Sebastion is. But they are saying the complete opposite. And a person does not change because they're comfortable. None of us change when we are comfortable, right? There's no reason for him to walk out. He had a good day, right? Everything's fine. So there isn't any reason that I can logically think why he would run out by himself. I mean, could someone give me a reason? I mean, anyone watching right now. Like, what is a legitimate reason why he would walk out? And then, after that legitimate reason, please tell me why there has been no scent of him, and tell me why there's no camera of him. Nothing. Zero adds up. Nothing adds up. You can't make it make sense because there is nothing about this that makes sense. And when something doesn't make sense, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Like I said, if Sebastion liked the outdoors, right? If he wasn't afraid of bugs, if he ran off a lot, it's a different story. Even if he didn't, right? Even if we know that he doesn't like bugs and everything else. If there was something that happened in that home, if something was going on in that home and he ran out, it would be understandable. But they say nothing was happening. It was a great day, great weekend. But then if he runs out, well, we need, and he's barefoot or with socks on, doesn't matter, or with shoes, there's going to be a scent. There will be a scent. And if there's not a scent, okay, well, he couldn't miss every working camera in the neighborhood. He could not miss every camera. So how anybody can pass up all of the logic makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. The last thing a human being wants to think about is someone in their own home doing something with or to a child in the home. That's the last thing someone wants to think about. It's ridiculous.
Somewhere in one of the news clips, I think it was reported that the FBI had made it on the ground. They're not. TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, has reached out to the behavioral analysis team, or their CART team. And
let me tell you something. People's like, they can pick up a decedent, the cadaver dogs, within seconds. That is not the case. That is not the case. It takes at least a few hours before the decomposition starts enough. Now, after a period of a few hours to a few weeks, that is the best time for a scent. And as the decedent gets older, then the scent will continue to go down, but they can still pick up on it very good. The hardest time for a cadaver dog to pick up putrescine and cadaverine is in the first little bit of when a person dies. The putrescine and cadaverine, which is what the scent is of the chemical process of breaking down tissues and the chemical process. So I'll try to turn it down a little bit. I apologize, but I do have to have the background music. I apologize. So there are a couple websites out there. I think AKC is one that they will say dogs can pick up within the first few within moments of a person dying, right? Go to a police station, talk to them, ask them. They will tell you. You can look up, do real research, and it takes at least a few hours. At least a few hours. FBI was involved, but the CART team never went to the house. That is true. Yes. Cadaver. Sorry, I'm thinking of something else. The CART team never came, which tells you that they never suspected an abduction. They never suspected an abduction. That tells you that it had to be he wandered off by himself or there is foul play, in my opinion.
They are trying to work with them from a distance, they're not physically present, to help in any way, form, shape that they can render their assistance.
Okay. Light and sound, thank you for being here. Have burner phones been looked into? I know some teens sneak phones from their parents or maybe his computer use at school to
We haven't
see
been
if
able
he
to
has
find
been
any
chatting.
evidence of a secret phone.
Okay, good. Because digital evidence is really important. They want to make sure that he's not speaking to anybody. This is such an unusual case.
This case is extremely unusual. Like I said before, we are pretty strict when it comes to certain things. As far as comms, communication, electronic devices,
Mhm.
there was only one phone that he had. It was extremely locked down. He had access to his phone, his text message, to only his contacts list, a camera, and a calculator, and that is it.
He's a pretty happy kid usually.
He seems like it, and I know that you love him very much. I know that I can remember earlier in our conversation you were referring to him as Bubba, and I think
That's what
that's sweet.
That's what
I
I
call my
call him.
son Bubba also, so that really tore at my heartstrings because my son, he's 30, but he's still Bubba to me. So it just, that name is going to stick forever. It's just how it is. Cindy Caton, thank you for being here. She says, are there any old wells that maybe he accidentally fell in, or any areas or mines that he might be at risk of coming in contact with? I know sometimes those things occur out in Tennessee. The divers, have they found any possible leads? I know that I heard that there was a possible pond that they were draining. You did tell me they were searching all of the pipes.
Yes. So when it comes to address her question as far as wells and things, I'm sure there's plenty of those around here.
They're searching them.
They actually pulled data for all the caves, underground voids, all of that stuff that could be accessible. They've brought in teams from all over the state that specialize in either cave explorations, water recovery rescues. We don't know that they have drained a pond. I can say that much, but they have searched, they've dived them all for sure. They've walked.
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. First mute of the day. Well, second mute of the day. Sabrina, hello, Justin, mods, and friends, snacks. Thank you so very much, my love. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, lovies.
I couldn't tell you how many miles of creeks and waterways, and they've used cameras. The sewers. It's not really the sewers they're looking in. It's the drainage pipes. So that's
yes, there was 2 lines shut off on February 6th, 2024. Also a landline that was shut off on February 6th, 2024.
That's for clarification. Sewer pipes, we're not going to find a child in. Those are enclosed and secured, but the runoff, water runoffs, were all searched by a dive team.
Okay. And I know Ginger Snap said is law enforcement looking into the possibility that he met a friend through Minecraft. I hope that they would just go ahead and vet all of that just to make sure, because you never know. I'm not really sure how all of that works because I'm not a gamer, but I know that there are ways that you can communicate like via Xbox because my son is a gamer. So, and Gabrielle, I believe that you guys were at the Costco on Saturday. That's when you took the picture of him, correct?
He thinks he knows it all.
Yes, my wife was at Costco on Saturday.
Yeah, not
the shirt
Sunday.
That's in the flyer where it says Optimism was on a Saturday. They were at BJ's on Sunday.
Okay, and when it comes to a restaurant or
No, they are all wholesale, like a commissary style stores where they sell in bulk.
Thank you, Amy.
Oh, okay. So Costco
So
Saturday, BJ's on Sunday.
yes,
He
ma'am.
loves to eat all the samples, and BJ's is new, so I took him.
You're a good mom.
And when it comes to like the one mentioned about Minecraft, like I stated before, he does not have any way to come with anybody on any form of online gaming. That is extremely restrictive. We don't allow that because of what can come of it.
They combed all of the electronics.
I can tell you this with
You hear
no
her? They combed
hesitation.
all the electronics.
Anything and everything we have given to the police and any other law enforcement to have them completely scan, validate everything, and they are currently. I mean, everything is empty. I mean, they were like, "You guys are pretty good at." I said, "Yes, sir. We don't believe in allowing the kids
Oh,
to
God.
communicate
Here we go.
through social media or through any type of gaming."
There we go.
Looks like Missing in USA says, why are they wanting camera footage from Sunday afternoon?
Here, listen to this.
That
Listen to this.
we cannot release right now.
Okay,
That is not
I
something that
understand.
has been authorized us to
Right.
put out to the public.
And we respect that 100%. Ginger Snap says, I was reading that his favorite song
Why?
is Eye of the Tiger.
Why can't they say? That's a little sus to me, if you ask me. You can't say why they want footage? You believe he walked out of the door. You believe they walked out of the door. So, what's the deal? Hold on one second. I'm trying to fix something, guys. I apologize. What the hell is wrong with that? Let me fix something. Bear with me, y'all. Let me apologize. Sandwich, did Melissa get sent search? Katie says his aunt and cousins were the last to talk to him. Good question. Good question. I don't know. But the police are asking for something that happened the weekend. New to see him? What do you mean, Sandwich? I apologize. What do you mean? I don't know.
That's a great song.
He's got an eclectic taste of music. He's a fan of Eddie Vedder. He
Oh, well,
likes
he's
Survivor. Oh yeah, I mean young man has a very eclectic taste in music.
And you told me that
Taylor
he
Swift,
loves to play chess.
Carrie Underwood.
And he loves to play chess,
He
right?
has a crush on Taylor Swift.
Ooh, he has a. Oh well, his boy.
Hold on. What was that again?
Young man has a very eclectic taste in music.
And you told me that
Taylor
he
Swift,
loves to play chess.
Carrie Underwood.
And he loves to play chess,
He
right?
has a crush on Taylor Swift.
Ooh, he has a. Oh well, her boyfriend better watch out then.
Why did Melissa say she picked up
Was
Katie?
911 allowed to be called?
Hold on. Why did Melissa say she picked up Katie and Sebastion on Sunday when Katie says we picked up our niece? Very good point, Mohawk. Good night, Nikki. Sorry. Good night, Nikki. Why did Melissa say she picked up Katie and Sebastion on Sunday? There's something there, Mohawk. I wonder about that too, because remember, Katie looks at Chris And she's like, we picked them up. Like she's wanting confirmation. We picked them up like the evening before, something like that. And Chris is like, remember, we always said, how do you know if you weren't there? We need to remember that. Mohawk doesn't miss a thing. No, Mohawk does not miss a thing. Mohawk is my mind. Mohawk is my memory. That is so true. Oh, honey, I hope you feel better, True Sleuth. Sorry you got a migraine. That sucks.
Called Rhonda asks.
Hope you feel better, sweetie.
On the cell phone, is that what she's referring to?
Yes,
she
I
really?
believe so. Is that what you're asking,
All
Rhonda?
devices.
I thought she was from Pennsylvania. I thought she was from Pennsylvania.
All devices that have communications
But if Anna Cousin was last,
have the ability to call 911. Believe it or not, most cell phones that are not even connected to service have an ability.
Was their car searched? That's a good question. I would say probably not, but she questions if it was the niece. It's because the niece is Chris. Really? Taylor Swift went to Hendersonville High School. I did not know that. Because the player's gonna play.
To actually call 911.
Yeah, you can pick one up off the shelf at a store, and most will call.
Yeah, that's become a federal thing. That's not a service provided. That is like a federal thing.
Right.
And restrict safety features, even if we could.
Yeah, safety is not restricted in this house.
Oh, not at all.
Okay, I do have one other question before I read what was his is saying. There was something I was going to add.
I don't know why Katie said aunt and cousin were last to see him. When Nancy asked who was the last to see him, it wouldn't be Katie. Last to see him, wouldn't it be Katie? Yes, but I mean, I can understand what they mean. You know what I mean? Like, well, who was the last one to see him? Obviously, she was the last one to see him. But I think she was just saying, well, other than me, you know, it would be them. You just made me spit my drink out. I've been told that before.
Ask you. Let's go ahead and do was his question right now. Shackle Island Road and New Shackle Island Road, are they in the same area?
New Shackle Island Road.
Shackle Island Road. It's not an island. And
runs parallel to Long Island. Old Shackle Island Road is actually farther directionally. It would actually be south in front of the hospital, the Hendersonville Hospital. That is roughly, I think, 4 or 5 miles from our house.
Okay. Single Mom, that's your favorite song too?
That's what I thought, Sandwich.
Now,
Me too.
Something I do want to ask you is, because I've been watching social media, because that's what I do. I share missing cases on lots of different social media platforms, and I was very disappointed when you told me that people were harassing you and attacking you. Is there anything that you want to put to rest while you're here tonight, or make clear to the public about this situation? I know you told me there was a statement that you wanted me to make about you and the mom.
Tay is originally from Pennsylvania. What's her boyfriend's name? Travis. Something. Travis.
And the dad. So if you want to make any clarification about that, you have free reign to do so. We will not allow you to be disrespected here on this platform.
Yeah, Travis.
I have no malice or ill intent toward anybody. Everybody has an opinion.
Of course.
But what is factual is that the father, the mother, and myself have been extremely cooperative. We have been vetted. We have been checked out. We have been questioned and everything of that nature, and literally have been cleared. There is no wrongdoing. There is no.
He's so full of it there. He's so full of it. We have been vetted. We have been cleared. There is no indication of wrongdoing.
No negative.
They have not told you that, Christopher. She is from PA but moved to Hendersonville when she was 14. When she broke her first hit out, when you think Tim McGraw, I hope you think our favorite song.
Input from the parents or any of the family.
I love this.
You know, and it's hard for a lot of folks. I mean, there's.
Light on the
I will be honest and say this out loud. I have a custody case that is currently going on in another state, which has been brought to public light because people feel that they want to judge and think that they understand what's currently going on, and they don't. Because of that, I am being looked at in a very foul way. I don't need to repeat anything that's being said, but
right,
you know,
but
and it's
people
perfectly okay.
There's people that's probably seen it on social media, and I want you to be able to have the opportunity to defend yourself. We have 248 people watching right now, and I'm sure that anyone that's watching this on the live stream, please respect this family. I mean, you can't.
I mean, they're being harassed whenever this is their first interview.
Can't have an idea.
Maybe because it took them 7 days to get out in front of an interview. Maybe that's people's like, what the hell's wrong with that?
What they are going through, and it's really not any of your business what is going on. And I understand that you do see your other child, which and that doesn't have anything to do with Sebastion. And you guys are on good terms.
Justin, do you remember how it's been stated that the dogs sleep with KP and CP is not at home? Then why that night was told to put the dogs in the pen? That tells me something possibly. Absolutely, Mama Bear. That's exactly what we have stated before. It doesn't make sense. And Chris has said that, and Katie has said that. So why were the dogs put up? Why were the dogs put up? Dear chat, have you hit? Thank you, Mex Chica. Oh, you're so cute in that picture. I am living. Yes, I'm a Swiftie fan too. I love Taylor. Can we get a count check on how many thumbs we have used this evening? That's not Mama Bear. It's Mama Bear Shell, isn't it? Oh, sorry, Mama Shell Bell. I apologize. Sorry. 478. Come on. Hit me, baby, one more time. Come on. Get it out. Come on. Just the tip. KP and CP didn't even look for her son and didn't go to any searches that were conducted, but sat in that trailer for how long, but went motorcycle shopping. That is sus. Yeah. Thank you, Lily's child. Thank you. Come on. Let's go, girls.
With his father. There's not like there's any custody battle between the mother and Sebastian's father. I mean, obviously, if he wants to see his father, you guys told me that, you know, you just plan to meet up, and it's, you know, it's no big deal. So I've read a couple of heinous things that people are saying, and it just really upsets me to know that people are just going to that without having all of the information
Thank
and
you,
knowing that
Tracy.
law enforcement has interviewed, interrogated
I
everyone
appreciate that.
in your family. They have looked into you. They have all of your devices, and that they basically
Not only that, they had a private vigil for just the neighbors. Just the neighbors. Chris and Katie's like, oh, they've been fabulous. They even let us go, and, you know, the cops go in their home when they were on vacation and all of this. Our neighbors are great. They're fabulous. They were opening up their arms to you guys. Community is very important. Community is very important. And you guys didn't even go. Not even 10 minutes. They sent representatives. It's just like I said, you know, if you were, for instance, you know, someone disagreed with you, maybe not even cared for you, maybe thought you might be involved, I would still be like, thank you. I think you're an absolute douche, but I really appreciate you keeping their name out. You know what I mean? It's like, because let's find him. Regardless of what you think happened, we want him found, right? Right, Chris? Right, Katie? We want him found.
basically cleared you guys of any.
And Chris is not even, we have no idea if he's passed a polygraph at all. We have no idea if this man has passed a polygraph. He says, TBI said I didn't need to because they knew where I was. Well, we don't know that, number one. And then name the time and place, Nancy. And then can't do it. TBI told me not to. They don't give a wooden nickel what you do outside of, you know, bar breaking the law. And then it's, TBI said I can take one. They said I passed. They didn't tell the world that. So why haven't you taken one with Mrs. Grace? Whether you pass or not, it doesn't. Whether you pass or not, to me, it's kind of pointless. It's the point that you didn't do it.
Involvement in Sebastian's disappearance, and I just wanted
We
the
have no
public
idea.
to be able
Carmelita.
to hear you say that,
We have no idea.
because you do have the right to defend yourself, because it's not a, like you said earlier, it's not about you, it's about finding Sebastian.
Correct.
Yes.
And I just don't want to have people to be dragging you around on social media. Isn't it already difficult enough that your child is missing?
That's beyond words. This is a feeling that I'm gonna tell you.
How is it? Our neighbors are great. They're fabulous. They're fabulous. Yeah. Fantastic. They're fantastic. They're great. Fantastic. Fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful people. I mean, Oh, he
Right
does
now,
it.
I don't
wouldn't
care.
wish this on
Nobody should ever have to endure. It is not something that should ever be wished upon for anyone.
Now, I do see Miranda. Miranda has a child that is special needs as well, and we've covered a case on my channel involving her child in the school system
Fabulous.
here on my platform. So Miranda is
Josh does a really good Trump. He does a really good Trump. I mean, blows me out of the water. He does a really good Trump.
a very strong advocate for kids that have special needs.
Because he does that, you know how Donald does the, it's so good.
And them getting fair and equal treatment. And she says, how is his skills on walking around on heels or without a trail? Because my son would stumble if he had to step over a 1-inch rock or any form of incline. So,
Justin, what is 20 minutes away where Katie could have met up with someone, but wouldn't cadaver dogs have hit? Do you mean like if she took Sebastion 20 minutes away, would they have hit in her car? Is that what you mean? I don't think so. I mean, I personally don't think so. I really don't think I don't think so, personally. I don't think they would have hit.
I mean, is he able to walk good? How is he able to navigate on his own? I mean,
And there's no, and let's just say if he was in something and something had just happened very recently within, a couple of hours, few hours. Thank you, Tracy. I'm trying to lose a little weight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my dear.
able to walk good.
I used to be 130 pounds. Now I'm 742 pounds.
Can you hear me?
$528. That's your angel number. Hold on.
Did
I want to see something here.
walk or any form of incline? So, I mean, is he able to walk good? How is he able to navigate on his own? I mean, is he able to walk good? Me? There, can you hear me? Out with the recruit company, so he couldn't go to any websites, and somehow he bypassed it. They're smarter than you think. Wow, discovering the truth. That is incredible. And he is a high functioning autistic young man. So they have and look, Chris dropped. He must have lost his signal, guys, but he'll probably come back. Oh, here he is. Chris, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's like a Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? I figured you might have lost signal.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll figure it out. We get it back every once in a while.
Okay, yeah, I understand. I understand.
He's high functioning. I mean, he's fully able to hold a conversation, and he walks and he loves to run.
Okay, well, that's good. And Rhonda wants to know if he has a special button on his phone.
No.
On his phone?
I don't. Mm-mm.
Okay.
But he doesn't have his phone.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and he left his phone at home, so he doesn't have it. His says, I'm local and I'm trying to get a direction. Thank you. And says something about exit 5. Are you guys close to exit 5?
No. Well, That depends. You can access off of what they call New Shackle Island Road, which I believe is exit 6.
Yes, I see. Thank you, Mrs. Clem.
Yeah, I believe it's exit 6, and exit 7 will be in Indian Lake.
He
But
walks and
as far
loves
as
to
the
run.
special button on his phone,
Yes.
I'm
I
not
noticed
sure what
that
you mean
too,
by
George.
that.
Yeah, me either. And I know Discovering the Truth said that, her child was
Yes, SL. And like his friends at school make, it sounds just like nothing is wrong here. You know what I mean? I think knowing when the camper was purchased can tell us about the home life. Well, Sandwich, I don't know about that because I think he had been doing that quite a while. And if I recall correctly, I believe it's in his mom's name. Yes.
able to get around the security system
Exactly.
that they had kind of set up on the phone, so they couldn't access the websites, that it was locked. And apparently he got around it and was
Okay.
able to access it. And I guess that's kind of what they were talking about, in a couple of texts in the chat. So
I mean, I would like, we've only seen that. We've only seen the very small clip of Sebastion saying, what is he saying? Green tea or something like that. And he just looks just like a average kid, if you ask me. I absolutely believe that. Absolutely believe that. Listen, if something happens in the middle of the night, right? And you don't have your shoes on while you're in the house, right? If you do, you have house shoes on or whatever. Well, and they take him out of there, right? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? The video was a green tea when he moved in. They forgot to put the shoes on him, in my opinion. Thought they were realtors. What did YouTubers say? She is a realtor and he works for some motorhome type business. But it's a place in Canada that they work for.
that's what I was trying to address, because a lot of the people that come to my streams, they have children that are also autistic, so they deal with a lot of situations, and they can understand some of the things that you may be dealing with.
So let's talk about this, right? Because we haven't got to it yet. Sebastion was, Chris says in this that Sebastion, he interrupts Katie and says Sebastion took medicine at night and of the daytime. If he took his medicine, what time did she give him his medicine? I think she probably gave him his medicine right after he got home. If he was going to bed at 9 o'clock, right? If he comes out and says, Mom, I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock, he was already ready for bed, right? And is that something that he would normally do? Let's think about that for a moment. Is it something that he would normally do and say, Mom, good night, puppies? Is he going to stick his head out the door, or is he just going to lay down and go to sleep? I don't know. But if he took his medicine at 8:30, right? Well, how long is it going to take for his medicine to kick in? Because it is a powerful medicine, what he was taking. It is a very powerful medicine. Usually takes 45 minutes to fall asleep with that medication. 45 minutes, right? So why would he still be up at the first story where she told the neighbor at 11:30? Why would he still be up at 11:30? If he took his medicine, let's think about this a minute. If he took his medicine, he would have just went to bed, right? They had to leave the cell phone on. It can't ping towers if it stays at home and won't leave a trail. Sebastion may have been alive when removed and would put his phone on him turned on. And would want his phone on him turned on. It can't ping towers if it stays at the home and won't leave a trail. Yes. Had to have. But my question about that, Ben George, is how does Chris get the message to Katie on the 911 or the non-emergency call? Hurry up. The cops are coming. It had to be one of two ways. One, listen to this. One, there was a burner phone or some type of walkie-talkie device, right? Two, he had to have met her wherever she was. Had to have met her wherever she was. Yes. That they do. I take a 300 milligram sleeping pill and I'm out in 15 minutes. Tablet, as long as you have some sort of, but you have to have some sort of data. You got to have some sort of data to make that work. Well, they were already talking. He left his phone and drove to Hendersonville and then drove back. What time though, Nashville? What time? They have walkie-talkies at crane jobs next till, remember? Fair point, Jesse. Fair point. So if CP and KP must have been driving, they were on phones. If he to risperidone, I think it was risperidol, maybe it's Done, he would have been out within 15 minutes. Oh my God, that's strong stuff. I don't think it would have taken that long. I agree, Nashville. I agree. See, I think, in my opinion, I think right before midnight, he jumped in that car, went to Nashville. That's when we see the flashlight video, right? And then when we see Katie leaving, the house, there still has to be a means of communication. Because he's already, right? There still has to be a mean of communication. And that's what we've got to figure out. What was the means of communication? I need y'all to do some homework tonight or tomorrow and figure out how they could have communicated. It had to be a burner phone, a tablet. They had to have like a data hotspot, something to that effect. We knew that he was at Mommy's when Nina was served, not Chris, in California on the ship. Yes. I also wonder, did the Bauer Sox, did they have any sort of extra lines, extra cell phones, business lines, business cell phones that could have been dropped off to Katie at 3:15 in the morning? I'd be making sure they hadn't brought any prepaid cards, because they could have got a calling app on an old device and pitched it after. You can be on a phone call and text someone else at the same time. You're very true. But again, that would mean Katie would have had to had her regular phone and would be okay with her being tracked. Now, I think the 3:15, something happened at 3:15. Really happened at 3:15. What that was, I have no idea. Really have no idea. Was there a transfer, or was it that morning? I think it was more safe for them to do it at 3:15 than it was that morning. Sometimes I also think that Katie may have thrown away any type of alleged or potential evidence that morning, went and threw it in some dumpster, in the creek, in the river, something. Something is CB radio. Breaker 19, breaker 19. A soup can, George. I would almost consider it in this case. Can you reiterate your question about how, when Chris told her to go, cops are on the way? Is that the question? I thought they said she called Chris. Okay, let's play it. Let's play it. Oops, maybe. Chronicles of Olivia, my sweetsies. Olivia is just as gorgeous in person. She really is just as gorgeous in person.
On the spec.
Okay. All right. This is very important.
Like, you know, where the F is he, you know. I had looked through the house for him because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that. And he likes to dip behind the, you know, walls and watch, you know, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But after I looked, and I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And
Perhaps sugar bomb.
I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already like, at this point I was like hysterical.
Okay, that's a very point. First of all, Ben George, listen to that. Went over there. He's already and she shakes her head out of it, right? Now he's gonna cough after that.
School, and he's already like, at this point I was like hysterical, and I was school, and he's already like, at this point I was like hysterical, and I was kind of screaming, and he was like, she just said it again. He was like, second, he was like, who is this he? But we're gonna find it right here. It's where I want you to. He three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them like, our son is missing and we don't know what's going on. And he was like, go back to the house. They're on their way. And I ran back.
He was like, let's look at the words here. This is very important. Called law enforcement and was telling them like, our son is missing and we don't know what is going on.
And he was like, go back.
And he was like, go back to
the house. They're on their way. And I
go back to the house. They're on their way.
Ran back. Drove back on what's going on. And he was like, go back to the house. They're on their way. And I ran back. Drove back to the house.
And I ran back to the house. He told me to run back to the house. They're on their way. Ran back. He told me to run back to the house. They're on their way. And I ran back. Well, drove. Even before that, she was in the house. Still go back. Cripple Creek, it absolutely can cause people to sleepwalk. The thing is, A, Sebastion didn't sleepwalk prior. B, if he did sleepwalk, you would have a scent, right? You would still have a scent, or you would be caught on camera, and whenever you would eventually wake up because of the, something stepping on something sharp, cold, whatever, So the sleepwalking thing is literally a 0% for me, personally. He was already on the phone. She was losing track of her story, no doubt. There's a lot of he was already, yeah, he would have absolutely been found. Cough to get back on the script. Oh yeah, and that's when the anxiety set in. He. It's like Michael Jackson. is with the Katie guy who was doing the horizontal shuffle with. Does not cause sleepwalking. My son has been on it before. I mean, every person is different. I mean, you can sleepwalk without any type of medication, but it's a very, powerful drug, and they don't do it as good as MJ. Oh, of course not. Of course not. Hey Maui, of course I remembered you. What? You don't think I remember you? Yeah, something is off. Very much off. I don't know, guys. I don't know. To be able to sleepwalk means you would have to be asleep for a while. Yeah, you would think. But and when you're sleepwalking, you're not just in this interview. Chris says Sebastion isn't on meds. I thought this was the one where he said he is on meds. Am I wrong, Bo? I might be wrong. 3, and now he's 32. Fair point, Justin. Everyone is different. Yeah, everyone's different. So, when I was a kid, I slept walk a lot. And there would also be times where I would sleepwalk, but then I would be in not sleeping, but not awake either. It was the weirdest thing. Almost like I was dreaming, but I was not. So I grew out of it, thank God. Has overbrain activity. Her brain doesn't shut down like a normal brain would. What we do to get sleepy. Yeah. Or you lucid? I don't know. Like, I remember, like, as a kid, one time, like, I walked out on the deck, and I was like, I sunk the Titanic. And like I would be in between. I don't know what it was, but I remember feeling like I sunk the Titanic. And I was like emotional about it, but then I kind of came out of it. So I don't know. Jack. I agree, but I bet you anything she hasn't been. I'm obsessed with Titanic stuff, just FYI. Sleeping and accuse acorns of being lazy. I've never walked in my sleep as far as I know. Yeah, well, you can do some funny things in your sleep. Yes. Let him go. Yeah. I was like, I sunk the Titanic. Interesting Italian princess. They certainly aren't acting like parents whose autistic son is missing. Yeah. Sidetrack: a guy and his wife were attacked. The husband was severely brain damaged, but he still walked out to get paper and made coffee. He was found later in the kitchen floor. I remember hearing about that. Yes. I remember hearing about that. Like, he was still going through the motions. He had done it so many times, and he was just like, his subconscious brain was just having him, just the brain is such a fascinating thing. Really, R. Taylor, that's interesting. The Vanderbilt family. There's a good documentary on the Vanderbilts here on YouTube, by the way. I love the Vanderbilt family, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers. I've got my picture with a few Rockefellers I could show you guys from years ago, but should have married into him. God damn. I'm just kidding. I take Ambien, it's fine. You see, some people do fine with Ambien. Some people drive into their homes. You say tomato, they say vodka. Oh, I've been to the Biltmore. Yes. Been to the Biltmore several times. Yes. The Thud. And when Katie says Sebastion said nothing, Mama, why wouldn't she say, I don't know, Mama, I got my pen in that right there. The Thud. And then Katie said Sebastion said nothing, Mama. Yeah. The first time. They all did. Every one of them did. Why is the music playing? Because it sets a little tone. No, sometimes when I play videos, I have to change it. I have to transform the content, make it my own a little bit. Lucy Cat. Oops, where'd it go? I remember that case, Ben. The mother lived and refused to believe the son was guilty. Yes, it was something like that. Why did she tell the news lady? I told him to go to bed, and he did. Yeah, well, sometimes I like the music, sometimes I don't, but I have to do it in some cases. You know what I mean? We need to know when they got that camper too. I can tell you that information, Sandwich. I've got that information. I'll try to look that up and let you know. This has been a long flipping day. Yeah. Me too, Nashville. Speaking of sleep, I am going to bed. I'm going to bed. I have been working since early this morning. I was off today, and therefore I have been filming a video all day. I am doing a 1 second. I'll show you here. Where is that? Okay. I'm doing a video on Dakota Collins. Thank you, Fusions. I'm doing a video on Dakota Collins, who was a 10-year-old boy out of Dayton, Ohio. It is one of the worst cases of abuse I have ever, 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 ever heard in my entire life. And on my Justin for All channel, I have the interview of the bio dad, and I've got all the pictures and all that. No, Amy, it's not a live. I'm going to be doing videos as well, adding to my content, which is just insane. Because I hate to edit, but I hate to film. Like, I really hate to film because you're like, shit, I just said that wrong. When you're live, you just say it wrong. But when you're doing a video, you got to have everything perfect as possible. So you're like, fuck, take 20, 30, and smile again, right? So, it is what it is, though. It's the worst one, but I had to do my first video on that, right? Like, I just had to, because it's one of the ones that affected me. Oh my God. That kid, that son of a bitch of a dad, he ard his son. Oh, thank you, Ben. Thank you. It's very kind. He ard his dad, or his dad ard him with a wooden table leg. I can't say it without crying. And put hot sauce on it. He was thrown in the top of the house, in the room, and he was made to sleep on a tarp. He had one of those plastic kiddie pools in the attic, and he was made to use the bathroom in there. And his father drowned him in the bathtub, because he always said, and you know what the crazy thing about it is, his dad made it seem like he liked this stuff, like it was his fault. It's under video on my Justin for All account. If you like watching interrogations and you can handle it, watch it. His teachers tried. A lot of people tried. My videos, I'm trying to keep around like 20 or 25 minutes. So I don't get like, it's enough detail. Trust me, it's enough detail. But and you know what the prosecutor said? The prosecutor said the father's girlfriend and her sister, who was living in the house, will be in prison for like 50 years, basically death for him. And they will live so much better than Dakota ever lived. Oh, I think may Lord please hear my heart when I pray that man splits hell wide open. I pray that he splits it wide open. There is to do that to a 10-year-old. Yeah, just had a wooden leg sitting in like a laundry basket. Put hot sauce on it. Thank you, SL. Thank you, my love. I love you. Thank you so much. I have so much anger for that man and blamed everything on him. Yep. I bet you he's in a protected place. It was a very high profile case. But it's under my Justin for All under video. It's an interrogation. All right, guys. Good night. Hell is too good for him. It really is. It really is. It's very disturbing. Good night, guys. Hug your loved ones. Time is precious. We only get so many trips around the sun. See you tomorrow, Lord willing. Good night. God bless.